Good morning! Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause please for Miss Karen Davila.
Hello! Good morning! Magandang umaga po. Saan po ako? Dito, ma'am?
Yes, right
dito
there.
Po. Dito
Perfect.
Po. Dito.
Maraming salamat po. Next up, chairperson and founder of Airspeed, Miss Rosemary Rafael. Magandang umaga po. Founder and CEO and President of Agria, Miss Cherry Atilano. Good morning. Senior Advisor for Women of the ASEAN-backed Philippines, Ms. Nora Terrado. Good morning, ladies. And now, to facilitate the discussion, let's call on stage the President of Private Sector Jobs and Skills Corporation and Go Negosyo Senior Advisor, Ms. Jopin Romero.
Thank you very much. Magandang umaga po. Good morning everybody, and to our esteemed panelists, good morning. Karen, you will be in the panel today and I will be asking you questions. I think everybody's excited to hear from you and from everybody here in front. Let's give them a big hand. Palakpakan po natin sila. Alam mo ninyo, napaka-busy ng lahat itong mga C-level, C-suite executives na nandito sa harap natin. And thank you very much for taking the time to be with us and to be with these women entrepreneurs who are looking up to you as their models. So, let's start. We have a little bit of a surprise for everybody. Baka ho, while we're doing the panel, somebody special will come and we will just welcome that somebody special if and when she comes. Okay, beauty contest question po muna. So the theme of this session has to do with Filipino entrepreneurship and also amplifying the message that the Philippines is the leader of ASEAN this year. Tayo po ang pinaka-host, ang chairman ng ASEAN, all 11 countries in Southeast Asia this year. And we need to show leadership. And proudly, we can show leadership. So let's find out from these women how they look at that. For everybody, my question is, when we look at the ASEAN region transformation, which should not be just a buzzword, it's an economic necessity, what is the single most critical transformation you believe Filipina leaders must champion today to ensure we are powering a shared, prosperous future? It's for everybody, an inclusive future, like Joey always says. So, I'll ask Karen first.
Magandang umaga po. Magtatagalog po ako sa tanong nyo. Sa pananaw ko po, unang-una, it benefits the economy kapag ang babae po ay nasa lugar ng kapangyarihan o leadership. Ang dahilan po nito, it's been proven over and over again that women make really good leaders. Women make great leaders. Number one, ang pag-uugali po ng babae is unang-una, ang babae kapag may problema, dialogo. Ang unang ginagawa, hindi po gera. Pangalawa, pagdating po sa negosyo na patunayan na ang babae, pasensya na po sa mga kalalakihan dito, talagang mas nagbabayad ng utang. And dahilan po yan sa prioridad ng babae. Ang prioridad ng babae palagi ay ang pamilya niya at ang anak niya. Sa mga entrepreneurs po, bihira ang babae na may bisyo. Ayoko naman po ulit maka-insulto. Alam niyo po, mabait ang asawa ko Mahal ko ang mga lalaki. But I think ang topic kasi ngayon, gaano kahalaga na ang babae ay dapat nating bigyan ng kapangyarihan. Why should we empower women? Palagay ko po sa buong ASEAN, ang dapat wag nating kalimutan, ang mga babae sa grassroots level. Ito po ang pinakamahirap na kababaihan. Sino po sila? Ang mga kababaihan na hindi po nakapag-aral, hindi po nakapagtapos. Ang mga kababaihan na nasa let's say, in violent or abusive partnerships or marriages, right? Ang mga kababaihan that have no opportunities or accessibility, sila po ang naiiwan. And to use what Attorney Lenny Robredo has always said, I will move it a bit, yung mga nasa laylayan. Marami tayong kababaihan na naiiwan doon. May kasabihan po kami sa UN Women, poverty has the face of a she. Ang mukha po ng kahirapan ay babae. Kapag ang babae po ang mahirap, babae ang nasa kalamidad, babae ang binabagyo, ang babae ang mas naiiwan po, talagang nakalublob sa kahirapan. So if you ask me what's important in ASEAN, I think we have to pay attention to uplifting women in the poorest of the poor.
Wow. Napakagandang sagot, Miss Karen. Thank you very much. Now, Karen, of course, you know, is a storyteller, and also at the same time, she finds out what stories of other people are. So, napakagandang balita po ng sinabi niya. So, our next executive beside Karen naman, she's in logistics. And she started in talagang van lang, no? I mean, let's hear from Rosemary. Ano tingin mong dapat nating i-champion sa mga kababaihan?
I'd like to talk about my other roles kasi I founded Airspeed, which is a logistics company, a male-dominated industry 40 years ago. Hindi naman masyadong halata, di ba? Pero 40 years ago yan. But I also have the role of Commissioner for Philippine Commission on Women and also Women Business Council Philippines. Kung titingnan mo, puro kababaihan. And then I can just tell you that it has been one of the most rewarding experience I had. Very rewarding. Bakit? Kasi nakita ko kung paano gumalaw ang mga kababaihan. Of course, ang mga kalalakihan din, naroon sila para to support, para na doon sila to encourage us. Pero ang mga kababaihan, we really look at them as women supporting women. Napakaganda ng timing natin ngayon because there's going to be an ASEAN chairship here in the Philippines. And in the women's sector, we are quite active in doing other activities like magkakaroon tayo ng ASEAN Trade Expo. This is what we are doing through it's a series of events wherein we bring in the products and showcase the good products, amazing products of our ASEAN region. And then, ang ating Philippine products, nakita nyo naman kung sino yung mga awardees kanina. Napakagara at amazing talaga ang mga produkto natin sa Pilipinas na kailangan talagang i-showcase. And that's one of the things that we're going to do. Because number one, we want to promote access to market. We want to promote access to funding. We want to promote shared services wherein we collaborate, integrate all the things that we can work on to be able to uplift and lift not only the kababaihan, pati na rin kalalakihan, at ang ating ekonomiya, not only here in the Philippines, but in the ASEAN region. Ang kagandahan dito, may platform tayo na merong online and on-site. So we're developing the platform wherein Filipinos or even other people outside the Philippines can also order, buy the products online. So hindi tayo matatapos sa 3 araw ng Trade Expo, but they can still do order online in and out of the Philippines. So ito yung kagandahan dito because we're promoting it not only on-site, but also online.
Alright, so Rosemary, what you're doing is, binibigyan mo sila ng pagkakataon at saka platform, ika nga, no? Na physical at saka digital para mapalawak nila ang kanilang, kung ano man yung gusto nilang iparating sa ibang bansa at sa buong mundo. So, wonderful. So, those kinds of opportunities are hindi na para sa, sabi nga nila, sa mga kapitbahay natin or sa community natin. It goes beyond. Alright, thank you very much, Rosemary. Now, ang susunod naman po nating resource person ay nasa agrikultura. Nasa business ng She makes sure that there is food on the table for everybody. Cherry. Kilala po siya sa buong mundo na yun ang ginagawa niya. Tinuturuan niya ang napakaraming magsasaka at ang mga ngalakal tungkol dito. Cherry, may we hear from you?
Yeah, thank you so much, Josephine, for that question. Actually, I was listening to Karen and Tita Rose. Karen in 2014, if you remember, it was a World Economic Forum in the Philippines. And Karen was a moderator. I was on a panel. And then she asked me how to make Philippine the next big thing in Asia and in ASEAN. And I answered Karen, let's make farming sexy. And it became like a headline in newspapers in 2014. So I would go back to that. Every day of my life, I work around with so many women farmers, not only in the Philippines, but all over the world. You know, so in my UN work, I'm a high-level ambassador for food security and nutrition. I handle 65 countries and 4 Indian states. And sa trabaho ko po, nakikinig ako hindi lamang sa kababaihan natin sa Africa, sa India, sa Bangladesh, sa Pakistan, lalong-lalo na po ngayon, yung pinakamalapit sa puso ko are the kababaihan in Bangsamoro region. I think, Karen and Josephine, no, what we see yung sa mga laylayan ng lipunan, mas lalong-lalo na yung sa conflict areas. And all the more dito sa ASEAN, apektado tayo lagi. Di ba yung war sa Middle East? But hagip natin yung pagtaas ng presyo ng gasolina. Kaya ngayon yung iba hirap-hirap pumunta dito. Di ba? So what I would like to say is, kasi sa agriculture ako, I always want to focus on how to empower the women who are producing the food. We always say that the women farmers, and this year, it's the International Year of Woman Farmer, the whole year, announced by the United Nations. And sabi nga doon, yung kababaihan sa farming sector, sila yung unang nagtatanim, unang nagbibinyag ng halaman, unang nag-aalaga ng halaman, unang nag-harvest. Pero po sila ang last na kumain. Kasi they always make sure may pagkain si asawa, may pagkain si anak, nabigyan ng pagkain yung kapitbahay, nabigyan ng pagkain yung in-laws, kasi baka may sasabihin, nabigyan ng pagkain yung buong community. Pero sila po yung nahuhuli. So, isang advocacy ko na dito sa Philippines, no, mayroon kaming ginagawang Women Food Producers Association. Currently, we have 1,080 members, all of them with specific ID. And right now, we're working with Bangsamoro. We're onboarding 2,500. These are women of war. We work with Women Food, World Food Program to make this happen. Bakit po conflict? Yung pinupuntahan natin. Kasi pag may food security, may peace security. Last January, I was in Bangsamoro. Nakikinig ako sa mga kababaihan. Grabe, 33 years, takbo-takbo sila sa war. 3 beses na balo, widows. But then grabe yung resilience, grabe yung strength, no? So we do feeding program for their children, and we also empower these women to be entrepreneurs, not just farmers, but to be entrepreneurs to supply the need of the markets, to supply the need of the feeding program of their children. Bakit po yung mga anak? Kasi we're really investing on the power of the children so that next time, during economic period, matalino na sila pag hindi malnourished yung kanilang pag-iisip. At yung kababaihan sa Philippines, mag-i-inspire siya sa ASEAN. So yan po yung aming ginagawa, Josephine, in terms of how do you really empower Filipino women to lead in ASEAN. So we hope that the stories of these Filipino women in war, in the fishing communities will be an inspiration during the ASEAN Summit that other ASEAN member countries would learn, would be inspired, and would take courage.
Thank you very much. Palakpan po natin si Cherry, si Rosemary, tsaka si Karen sa mga sagot nila. Cherry, you know what? Yung sinasabi mo, it's all the more remarkable kasi alam ng mga tao sa ASEAN na medyo tagilid ang Pilipinas sa pag-produce ng pagkain. Kaya ang ginagawa mo talaga napakadakila. Maraming salamat.
Thank you.
Okay. And we'll ask you some more questions regarding that later. So our next resource speaker used to be an executive at the Department of Trade and Industry. Marami po siyang nagawa doon para i-professionalize lalo ang DTI. But more than that, she is also in the technology, she was in the technology industry. At kahit wala na siya doon ngayon bilang aktibong executive, nag-a-advise pa rin siya. And now, kasama po natin siya sa ASEAN Back. Siya po ang nagtataguyod ng agenda ng mga kababaihan. So, Miss Noya, can we hear from you?
Maayong aga sa inyo tanan na nalipay gid ko ya kay upod ko diri sa stage. I hope I can contribute mga taga Bisaya, mga Ilonggo. Hello po sa inyo.
Sigurado yung mga nasa Facebook, tuwang-tuwa sa iyo, Noya.
Alright. So, thank you for that question. I am encouraged by what they said, no? From Karen to Rosemary and to Cherry. Sa akin po, napakahalaga na dapat nating we have to remember that the economic development po ay founded on three important social determinants. That would be women's health, education, and food security. Yan po ang kailangan natin sa ating bansa at sa buong mundo. Saan po ako nagko-concentrate? First, I support women like them. I think they are doing a magnificent, wonderful job in their mission field. Ako naman po, I feel and I believe na ang aking mission field ay doon po sa pag-alis ng mga choke points, mga friction points, where we can establish a more effective women empowerment initiatives. Since I was raised ng aking mga magulang, I've been trained to be a steward. Bibigyan ako ng pera, ako po ang magmamanage ng sa bahay kasi ako ang panganay na babae. At kailangan mapapalago ko yon. So, I am a young entrepreneur in that case kasi habang minamanage ko po yon, nagpapautang po ako sa mga fish vendors sa community ng 100 pesos. And then, at the end of the day, bibigyan ako nila ng 2 to 5 pesos per day at may libre pong pagkain na isda. So in that way, I think my role is to encourage women that if we are entrepreneurial in our mindset, mapagkakasya po natin ang ating resources. Kailangan po nating maging smart. Sa English po, sabi ng aking English teacher, you have to be astute. Smart daw yon, astute. Remember po yan. So, sa palagay ko, it is important for me and to those who are in my field to ensure that we elevate the leadership of women in this regard. We have to be stewards, good stewards, and if there is any opportunity that we can elevate the position of the Philippines, if we cannot say something good about our country, this is our time to say something positive on what women can do so that we can elevate our position in the market. One last point, no? Marami na tayong pagkakataon na we prove to the world that we are leaders, no? Women leaders in the world. There is a yearly survey by the World Economic Forum. It's called Gender Parity. And out of 148 countries, we are at rank 25, and we are the highest in the Philippines. The role of the Philippines during this chairship, especially for the women, is to lead in ASEAN, to make sure that we reduce the barriers na galing sa isip, galing sa sistema, para yung voices, ma-mute natin ang noise and make sure na we take action. And elevate more yung mga women na nandoon na siya sa middle ground at ready na silang pumunta sa global market. Yun po ang aking advokasya.
Thank you, thank you. Palakpakan po natin yon. Ang ganda nung sinabi mo, Miss Noya, kasi obviously all of us want to help those who are at the bottom of the pyramid, yung mga nasa laylayan. Hindi tayo tumitigil doon. Pero kasabay ng pagtulong natin sa mga nasa laylayan, yung mga konting tulak na lang, angat na sila, dapat hindi natin din pabayaan. At marami po sa mga MSME na tinutulungan ng Go Negosyo at DTI ay nandun sa puntong yon. So let's emphasize that. Let's give a hand to Yusek Noya. Dating Yusek po ng DTI at ngayon ay ASEAN-backed Women Senior Advisor. So let's pause lang po tayo ng konti and let's give a warm welcome to the Secretary of the DTI, Department of Trade and Industry, Secretary Cristina Roque. Tingnan po naman ninyo, she did not forget us. Sobrang busy din po si Secretary Roque and she's here to welcome us and to honor the women entrepreneurs who are making the economy of the Philippines run. So ma'am, if it's okay, we'll finish and we'll ask you to give us a few words. So my next question, hindi ito beauty queen question, no? Realidad ito. Kasi alam naman natin ngayon talagang mga tao medyo hirap isipin, what's next? Are we back in the situation similar to COVID because of what's happening in the world? O hindi naman, meron tayong gagawin na pwedeng mas makaluwag sa atin. So my question is this, more than just surviving, with like your advice or your ideas, more than just surviving, paano natin matutulungan mag-isip ang mga kababaihan na let's not look at things in a broken way. Let's thrive even in times of rife like now. So I'll ask Rosemary first, and then Ms. Noya, Karen, and Cherry.
Siyempre nakakagulat yung nangyari sa atin. But these are geopolitical changes that we cannot really control. And what we cannot control, we cannot do anything about. But let's look at the factors or the areas that we can control. Like, because I'm in logistics, syempre nag-iisip ako, paano yan kung wala ng fuel? Paano kung kahit na may generator ako, wala naman akong gasolina? Paano aandar kung wala ng power? Paano yung EV? Paano kung i-charge yan? But then again, at the same time, I just have to focus on what else can I do? So ngayon, nag-umpisa na ako na kumuha ng mga bisikleta para sa riders. So in riders, bisikleta, in areas that I can work
Yung
on.
mga malapit, mga 5
Yes, yung
kilometers, mga ganyan.
Mga
Okay.
malalapit. Tapos, how do I come up with sustainability? Then we just come up with, I've got this machine shredder para ma-replace ko ang bubble wrap with the used cartons na isi-shred ko para yun ang gamitin.
Okay. So you're looking at other options that used to be binabaliwala mo lang.
Yes, kasi of course, ang dami natin kailangan tingnan eh. Pero we really have to look at what we can control. And these are the things that we have to work on. Sa mga kababaihan, we really have to do what we have to do. And we continue to do what we know what to do. And then, syempre nga, ano ba kailangan natin ngayon? Disiplina, commitment, yung character and all that. But yun ang pinaka-importante, and this is what I really practice myself, self-care. You have to care for yourself. Kasi kung wala ka ng laman, ano pa ibibigay mo sa iba? So if we're able to finish and do...
Nice.
Salamat, palakpakan natin ang mga kababaihan. Ang mga...
Rose, siguro dagdag ko din. Di ba recently you had a meeting with the trade office para mag-isip din ng paraan para paano ninyo matulungan ng mga entrepreneurs? Maybe you can share that as well.
Yes, nandito si Secretary Roque. And she called for a meeting immediately talaga. Magkasama kami ni Jopin sa Davao. Lipad talaga ako kasi alam ko na si Secretary Roque is really serious about what solutions can we come up with for the transportation sector. Kasi affected talaga ang transportation sector. And hindi yun natapos doon May continuous meetings pa ngayon. in fact, on Monday, meron na namang meeting para magawa ng solusyon. So, in fact, there are so many things that we can work on the fuel costs and also on the other factors that can contribute to making it more efficient ang supply chain para mapabarin ang mga gastusan na nagagamit sa transportation. So I would like to really emphasize the collaboration between the government, DTI and DOTR and whatever, and the private sector. Kung ano man ang pwede nating ibigay, kahit nasabihin natin, ay konti lang yan, hindi yan maaapektuhan. Tipid sa kuryente, tipid sa lahat, and compressed workplace, and maybe work from home, gawin na natin. Kahit isang tao lang to, pag ilang libong tao ang gumawa ng lahat na yon, the impact is going to be great.
Okay, thank you very much, Rose. Most entrepreneurs now will have a better chance of not just surviving, but continue disrupting, doing what they were doing even before this crisis happened. So we heard from Rosemary. Ms. Noya, can we hear from you too?
Yes. So I founded a company from ground up, no, in way back 2019. So I did it from 0 to 10,000 until I turned that over to my successor. So my view about this crisis is that it is going to be an opportunity, and it is an opportunity for us to protect businesses and enterprises that are already there and those that are in the pipeline. So my view is that for people like me who's in tech, it is important not to forget to continue improving and enhancing our digital core. Ano yung digital core? Yung pong data. Kailangan po nating i-protect yan kasi the world relies on our data. We serve them from here, and our clients are in the US and other parts of the world. Data. And why is it important? Kasi po yan ang foundation ng AI. Number 2, yung cloud infrastructure. So my view is that companies that I consult with and advise, they have to make sure that there is redundancy. Kung masira ito, meron ditong alternatibo, no? And the third is about cybersecurity. Yung cybersecurity, importante po dyan. Ngayong pong panahon na ito, we have to distinguish between noise and signal. Kasi in a crisis, marami pong ganyan. So, mahabang kwentuhan po yan. But it's important to make sure we're protected from yung cyber attacks, etc. No? So, importante po yan. And finally, it's governance. Governance is important kasi tayo pong mga leaders are stewards. I go back to steward leadership. Yung nilagay sa atin, kailangan maganda tayong mag-govern, magpamuno at mag-manage ng mga resources. So sa tansya ko, doon po ako nababagay na tumulong. No? Hindi lang po dito sa mga kumpanya na naririto, kayo rin po, sinishare ko na mahalaga po yung digital core, yung mga apps na may mga bukol-bukol dito, no? Digital core, importante po yan.
Yeah, napaka-importante ng sinabi mo, Noya. Pero para sa marami sa atin sa Pilipinas, yung mga micro at saka small enterprises, parang hindi natural yung sinabi mo na gawin nila sa araw-araw. Anong mga halimbawa siguro pwede mong ibigay para simple lang sa araw-araw ng kanilang mga pamumuhay bilang mga entrepreneurs, makita nila na yun ang ibig mong sabihin?
Magsimula sila sa data, yung information. Protektahan nila yung mga halimbawa, information ng inyong mga kliyente. Kasi itong mga digital core, hindi to importante kung walang customer centricity. Ingatan ang mga inventaryo para makapag-decide kayo ingatan niyo yung mga connectivity, isipin niyo yung mga internet ninyo, yung mga workforce ninyo, maski 500 sila or 20, sila po ay magtatrabaho from home, work from home. Kailangan po connected sila. And there should be yung, redundancy. Ano ba sa Tagalog ang redundancy?
Yung meron kang parang backup, ganyan?
Backup, oo. Yung ganon.
Oo, okay.
No, it's okay. You first. Ano yung tanong?
Alright. Sige. No, so, no, but that's very important. Alam po ninyo sa pag nagme-mentor ang DTI at saka Go Negosyo, doon sa ating kapatid mentorship for micro-enterprises, meron tayong mga iba't ibang module. And what we found out is that ang atin pong mga entrepreneurs, ang unang digital adoption nila ay nasa pera. Kasi yun yung makakasingil sila o kaya makakabayad sa mga sa sweldo o makakapagbayad sila ng kanilang mga suppliers. So, to your point, yung mga lahat ng mga nandun sa phone book kunyari nila na binabayaran nila, sinisingil nila and so on, dapat protektado. Protektado. Yung telepono na yan, dapat may backup, hindi lang sa telepono, nasa computer din yan. Parang gano'n na sinasabi nyo, no? At pag natanggap silang question, o kaya OTP na hindi naman nila kinuha, huwag nilang papatulan.
Yan.
Yan, okay. So, careful, extra careful lang po tayo. Lalo na pag nagmamadali tayo, marami pong experience na nasa Tiangge. Ang dami-daming customer, nagbayad, may OTP, okay. Lalagay niya yung OTP sa kanyang GCash o kaya sa kanyang Maya. Tapos, sa bilis ng mga pangyayari, may nagtatanong ano ang OTP, binigay niya, ayun, nalimas ang laman ng kanyang e-wallet. So, we should be extra aware of those things.
Maliit na karugtong, no? We should learn how to follow the cash. Learn to follow the cash. Use technology and use smarts para
Kailangan alisto palagi.
Alisto pala.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ms. Noya. Karen, may we hear from you? Maganda yung sinabi ni Secretary, maybe you can expound on that. At saka nabanggit mo kanina na ano ka, di ba, nasa UN ka. So maybe, I mean, there are initiatives you're doing already. No, it's the same question as earlier. I will just repeat it. Imbes na nagsusurvive lang ang mga tao, ang mga Filipino entrepreneurs, what among your initiatives or what among the things you're doing do you think can help them continue disrupting where they are now?
Well, sinabi nga ni Secretary Roque that in every crisis is an opportunity. I think to close on my end, no, ang problema ng kababaihan, pare-pareho naman in so many years. So number one, I think education is the greatest equalizer. If you want to empower a woman, educate her. Napakasimple yon. Kasi ang babaeng marunong at may kaalaman, makapangyarihan. So that's number one. And in all the interviews I've done sa May Puhunan and now in DTI Ascenso, the challenges remain the same. Women want to be upskilled. They want to learn new things. Pero mahal. Wala silang pambayad, right? Pupunta pa sila sa 5-6 or yung savings nila yung gagastusin. But it's something so simple. If you just open the doors for women to learn more, then you've actually brought them to a higher level. So that's number one. Number two, financial literacy. Ang daming sari-sari store nagsasara sa Pilipinas for the same thing. Hindi nila alam kung anong puhunan, ano ang kita. Hindi nila alam kung ano ang personal na gastos at ang puhunan sa sari-sari store. So, in My Puhunan, which is our show, that's always the greatest failure. Magbigay ka ng sari-sari store. Give it a few months, sarado na. They don't understand something as basic. Something as simple as dapat wag ka magpautang ng pautang. Common problem yan in our culture. Number three, I think, I always say this to women when I speak in universities, follow your dreams, not your boyfriends. A lot of the stories of failure is, heartbroken, sinusundan ng boyfriend, sinusundan ng anong gusto ng lalaki. Diba? Very common. So at the end of the day, the solutions remain the same. if bilang babae, you are empowered, you can do great things. And then I think during the time of crisis right now, no, what can we do? I always give this challenge to women. Tinatanong nyo ba sa sarili nyo, are you mentoring another woman? Are you helping another woman? So, as a UN Women Goodwill Ambassador, this is what we do. So, her legacy actually funds, awards women STEM students. So we give scholarships to STEM students. We award students who have STEM projects because it's an advocacy that essentially we want more women in STEM. We want more women agriculturists, more women scientists, more women chemists. It's a space that's very unpopular for women. So that's one thing. With our other program, Connect Ed, with Tutsi Angara and myself, what we do is to make sure we address the digital accessibility gaps when it comes to women and girls. But I think to everybody in this room, tanungin nyo sarili nyo, may tinutulungan ba kayong isang babae? Or kayo pa ba mismo ang problema? Lagi ko to sinasabi, pag nagkalat kayo ng chismis tungkol sa babae, you are disempowering that woman. Ito tayo sa Go Negosyo, empowering entrepreneurs. Pero, kayo ba ay nagkakalat ng chismis, masamang balita tungkol sa kapwa nyo babae? Hindi kayo nakakatulong. 'Di ba? Yun. Kayo ba mismo ang nagfa-5-6 sa kapwa nyo babae? Then hindi kayo tumutulong. 'Di ba? Kayo ba ang humaharang para ma-advance ang isang babae sa opisina? Hindi kayo tumutulong. So I always say this when I'm invited, go on a moment of self-reflection. Do you help other women or do you disempower other women?
Let's give her a big hand. Sabi ko na Karen, you shouldn't be asking questions. You should really be the one telling people what stories there are out there and giving advices like this. Thank you. Sige, alright. Cherry, napakarami mong experience, di ba? Narinig niyo ba yung sinabi niya kanina? 65 countries ang kanyang tinutulungan. So, obviously, marami nang lumapit sa'yo, humingi ng tulong na parang desperado. They want to continue with what we're doing, but they can't because of situations beyond their control. How can we help them? Through your initiatives.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. I'm so inspired listening to three amazing women here and of course the secretary. I would start, kasi kanina you asked a question, we're so broken and in crisis you always see brokenness. I would like to borrow the statement recently that I've heard from a good friend, Felicia Atienza. She said, in the garden of grace, in the garden of God's grace, even broken trees bear fruits. In the garden of God's grace, even broken trees bear fruits. So gusto ko lang pong gawing reminder ito lahat sa atin. Kasi siguro lahat sa atin dito naging broken. We went through a lot of personal crisis, business crisis. Like for example, I would reflect back on pandemic. It was a crisis that really wiped us out overnight. But then, that was also the time that my company and our nonprofit grew. It's because tinapangan namin. I think that's the power of women. We work with empathy and execution. Imagine execution with empathy. It's not only equivalent to sustainability, but continuity. No? Continuity. What we did that time, di ba, walang pagkain sa supermarket, nag-aagawan lahat. What we did, we really work with our farming communities who are run by women because their husbands did not want to have Viber, WhatsApp, or Messenger. Lahat ng marites sa rural communities, yun yung inactivate namin. Tita, pahingi ng price ng kamatis. Pahingi ng price ng pechay. Pahingi ng price ng cauliflower, ng lettuce. paano kayo namin matulungan dalhin dito sa Manila? And it happened, we were able to help 30,000 smallholder farmers in 10 months, saving 200 metric tons of fruits and vegetables. Grabe, hindi umuusad yung kalsada. Okay, now umuusad pa yung kalsada. Mahal lang yung fuel. Wala tayong kinakakatakutang mamamatay tayo dahil sa virus. So this is such a reminder that we're not so broken. This is a crisis na I think most women here, you eat stress for breakfast every single day. So let's try this as another dish during our breakfast every day. This is a crisis of fuel. I was hearing Tita Rose kanina sa likod, ay nag-compute kami sa Excel, nag-add kami ng certain percentage. If you're an entrepreneur, you need to think about that. You need to go back to the Excel sheet of your business and check your P&L. Check how you could play around something. And second one, you really need to educate yourself. I tell this a lot to our women in our farming communities. One story, I think, very short, when I was in southern Leyte, after a typhoon, and then there's a woman. She was serving misuman and kalamay and kape, Bisaya man, sa Southern Leyte. And then, when I was eating, I saw a tarpaulin in the living room. Sabi ko, sino yan yung nasa tarpaulin? May kandila, may flower, tapos it says, 40 days, death anniversary. Sabi niya, ma'am, ngayon po, 40th death anniversary ng asawa ko. Namatay nung bagyo kasi inatake sa puso, namatay po yung 9 namin na baboy at yung 16 na biik. Tapos pumunta po siya sa aming rice field. Our rice field was totally vanished. Pumunta po siya sa aming coconut farms, lahat po wala ng ulo yung aming coconuts. Bumalik yung asawa ko, hinimatay, diretsyo, patay on the spot. Hindi niya kinaya. Sabi ko, tita, wow, ang lakas-lakas ng loob mo. You're so resilient. Bakit ka ganyan na nandito ka pa rin, nagpapakain sa amin? You know, lighting a candle to your husband na namatay, sabi niya, anak, hindi ako pwedeng titigil kasi may 6 kaming anak na nag-aaral. At yung komunidad na iniwanan ng asawa ko, president ng co-op yung asawa ko. So ano po yung plano nyo, tita? I plan to take over para ipagpatuloy ang kanyang naumpisahan. So this is in connection kanina sa sinabi ko. When women lead, they don't thrive. They don't survive. They don't even think of sustainability, but continuity. Ilan siguro sa inyo dito na nabalo, na widow, you take over the business of your husband to continue because you care for the employees, you care for the legacy he built, you care for your children, and what else you can do. So maraming salamat.
Wow, what a story. Very nice, very nice. It's very inspiring. So, we're being instructed to wrap up. Dahil madami pa po kayong gustong marinig ngayong buong araw na to. Let me just ask this of our panelists. One word advice. 1 word or 2 words maximum advice to the women here and to those who are listening on Facebook. Ano ang pwede niyong sabihin sa kanila? One word.
word?
Yes, sige.
Courage, tapang,
Yeah.
grit.
Okay. Yan, kailangan meron tayong courage, tapang, grit. Isa lang ibig sabihin nun. Okay, Noya?
Aside from tapang, execute. Action yun. Action. Act.
Yan. Lahat naman kayo sinabi nyo, talaga ang tagagawa ay ang Pilipino, ang Pilipina, no? Okay. Cherry?
Malasakit. I think malasakit sa kung saan kayo ngayon na organisasyon, malasakit sa kapwa natin, sa community, at malasakit po no, sa ating bansa kasi kailangan na kailangan niya tayo ngayon.
Ako, napaka-importanting sinabi mo
Ganda.
yan. And Karen?
Ang gaganda, lahat yon I agree. Huli na lang siguro, para lang maiba, mahalin ang sarili. Yun.
Yan, yung self-care din na sinabi ni Rosemary kanina. Alright, maraming salamat. So, palakpakan po natin ang ating mga panelists.